Welcome, folks, to another edition of Sports News. Yeah, this news is always going to happen, hopefully just for this week. NFL news, August 27, 2025, we have two trades that happened today. An extension coming in for the newest, highest paid safety, and some other news from practice squads, plus claim off waivers. We begin with the biggest story, the Carolina Panthers. Yes, this news has been the long-awaited news, and I've been talking about that news, I believe, yesterday. Adam Thielen has now been traded back to the Minnesota Vikings. The Panthers are getting a 2026 fifth-round pick, as well as a 2027 fourth-round pick. Decent picks. Minnesota's getting Adam Thielen, a 2026 conditional seventh-round pick, and a 2027 fifth-round pick. This all started, I would say, last week, where the Vikings have been acquired for Panthers wide receiver Adam Thielen. Then yesterday, Adam Thielen made it to the 53-man roster. Of course, the Panthers send that on Instagram and Facebook. And Adam Thielen is in the 53-man roster. But the conversation with the Vikings was still going on, and now Adam Thielen is going to come back to Minnesota. And yes, he has to step up for Jordan Addison, who is going to be suspended for the first 3 games. So makes sense. Makes sense because he's going back home where he played his best moments in Minnesota as an undrafted free agent. He had some career moments there in Minnesota. And I do believe this is going to be the final season for Adam Thielen this year, of course. He had some great moments in Minnesota, great moments too with Carolina. But I think this may be the final time we'll see Adam Thielen on a football field. So, as a Panthers fan, yeah, we signed Adam Thielen, but sometimes you got to risk the moves that you got to make, and Adam Thielen's one of them. So Thielen, and good to see you in Carolina, but time to come back home to Minnesota. Jaguars have acquired Tim Patrick from the Lions in exchange for a 2026 sixth-round pick. So the Lions are trading Tim Patrick to Jacksonville. So that would mean Brian Thomas, Travis Hunter, and Tim Patrick are going to be the new receivers. And again, this makes sense because, yes, we're going to find out how they're going to do the two-way play with Travis Hunter, going to play both corner and wide receiver. And Tim Patrick could slide in as that number 2 receiving spot because he has some great experience with Denver. Then went to Detroit. Now he goes to Duval. And he'll be their wide receiver 3 behind Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. Ravens safety Kyle Hamilton has signed a 4-year, $100.4 million extension. Boy, that's a lot of money. He gets an $82 million in guaranteed money, which means he has surpassed Antoine Winfield Jr., who had his extension, I believe, a couple months ago or last year, who became the highest paid safety. Well, that's out of the way because Kyle Hamilton is your newest highest paid safety in NFL history. Congratulations to Kyle Hamilton. He's been a tremendous player since getting drafted to Baltimore, first team All-Pro, Pro Bowler. Now what he needs to get is that Super Bowl ring. Yep. That's what you need. Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice has been suspended for the first 6 games of the 2025 season. So we'll expect to see Rashee Rice back on the field in Week 7 when they take on the Las Vegas Raiders. So that's some good news there, but the bad news is 6 games will be tough because, yes, they got to play the Chargers in Brazil. the Eagles at home in Kansas City, the Giants in New York, the Ravens in home, Monday night against the Jaguars, and I believe the next game is Washington. Yes, against Washington with the Commanders. If I'm right or wrong, I don't know. Sorry. But Rashee Rice has been suspended. Of course, we knew this was going to happen. We've been hearing the news about him in Dallas with the car accident. And the NFL, we're going to investigate and give him the suspension. Well, now Rashee Rice is suspended for 6 games. I thought this would be 10-game suspension, but the league just gave him 6 games. Who cares? We'll just go with it. Here's some other news coming around the NFL. Lions are bringing back Dan Skipper, yes, to the practice squad. Yeah, so he's going to be eligible to the practice squad. Congrats to Dan Skipper. Patriots claiming former Giants quarterback Tommy DeVito off of waivers. So that's interesting. They bring in Tommy Cutlets. Are coming to Foxborough. Patriots have released wide receiver Kendrick Bourne. Kind of interesting, but you know that they have Diggs, they got Jalen Polk, of course. Kyle Williams from Washington State, he's going to have a big year also. But Kendrick Bourne, who was signed with the Patriots out of San Francisco, now is a free agent on the board. Saints have claimed former Buccaneers wide receiver Trey Palmer off the waivers. 49ers have signed former Seahawks wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Panthers have signed quarterback Hendon Hooker to the practice squad. Browns signed former Jets receiver Malachi Cornell to the practice squad. And offensive guard Cole Strange to the practice squad. And that is it for NFL News, August 27, 2025. Hello there. If you have not seen my other videos, go check them out on my channel. Of course, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for more sports news.